Hello everybody and welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am Jason and today we've got a Division B West matchup for you guys here in the playoffs. Round number one still. We're going to be going into round number 2 starting tomorrow. So this is the final, a pair of these final B West matchups. And looks like everybody is ready to go. And let me just make sure I've got the right people on the right side. Oh, okay, I had them on the wrong side. Yeah, I'm going to ask them to swap, though, because, I don't know. That's how it was. That's how it was on the website. It's easier for them to switch. Don't forget to swap the draft. All right. There we go. Can you guys all hear me? Are we still good? As you can see, I'm in a new room. Notice the elephants with the hearts. It's so cute, right? Okay, so yes, Wholesome Halfwits on the left, sOaK eVeRy on the right. I could have sworn I had the names back there, and sure enough, there it was, but we caught it. So we're going to go on into game number 1 here, Towers of Doom. First pick, first ban, going to be going over to Wholesome Halfwits. So of course, you should be prioritizing some of these global heroes, the heavy team fighting heroes, and trying to get their choice of tank. And you see right out the gate, we're going to get started with a Johanna ban and an Uberak on the other side. So both teams kind of putting that priority on denial for these tanks right out the gate, which is something we've seen a lot here in the NGS playoffs. Tanks just being a main focal point, and still continues right into the Diablo ban. Wholesome Halfwits really trying to force the issue. They have a tank in mind, I'm sure, and the Ana ban's going to come out. Maybe sOaK eVeRy trying to leave a couple of options. Ana, of course, still very good, though, especially on this map with the Eye of Horus. And her ability to interrupt consistently across map. But we will see Rexxar coming out as the first pick. So, not a tank, but kind of a pseudo frontline bruiser in a lot of ways. Though, I think it's specifically listed as a range damage. She does a lot of range damage now. With the actual hero himself, and Misha, more the supporting role with those tanks up front. But we will see ETC picked up here for the side of sOaK eVeRy. So, getting a little bit of a stun combo there with the Tyrande Lunar Flare follow-up. So that should be a nice combo for them to get things started. Plus, again, Tyrande with that long-ranged, even can be cross the map interrupt. With every death comes honor here for towers. Meanwhile, look at the backline damage now. Kael'thas and Hanzo added to the Rexxar, so a lot of ranged poke, a lot of potential denial, but also we're seeing a lot of damage just in general. It's a lot of spiky damage that can come in and be very difficult to contest with. Tyrande does have a bit of a spell shield mechanic with her healing if she decides to talent into that, so that can definitely help against the team that we're seeing out right now from Wholesome Halfwits. But we are going to see the Garrosh ban, so they had the option there. Did sOaK eVeRy to kind of ban out support or tank choke. They decided to go with the tank because all of the other bans that have come out so far, most of them by Wholesome Halfwits until that Garrosh ban, but leaves the side of Wholesome Halfwits with very, very few tank options. Meanwhile, Jaina going to be banned out. Very strong hero for this map in particular, with it being so team fighty. It's a lot easier to have sustained fights here on Towers of Doom, which can result in Jaina getting her ice block a lot earlier than some of the other maps. Meanwhile, Sylvanas and Zeratul, a couple of pretty strong meta picks. Sylvanas has been coming up and up and up in the current meta. And Zeratul's just been a terror all around, pretty much all season. if the enemy team has a good Zeratul, that is just not something you want to see on the other side of the battleground. Meanwhile, last 2 picks coming in for Wholesome Halfwits. Uther and Decker, they're going with a double support. Very interesting. No tanks, really. I mean, Misha, really the closest thing that Wholesome Halfwits is going to have to a tank. Though you could make an argument for Uther. Not so much for Decker. He's pretty flighty and sometimes hard to pin down, but Uther is the one who actually has the tanking stat and can definitely be on the front line, provide a little bit of that engagement CC. So now we're going to see Blaze coming out from sOaK Every Lane. So a little bit more of a standard comp for the side of sOaK Every Lane. Not to mention, of course, that Blaze is a great offlaner, good wave clear, and tremendous staller for these shrines. So, I don't know. I don't know what to make out of that Wholesome Halfwits draft. That is incredibly interesting. It's got a good mixture of burst heals and sustained heals. And it's got a lot of damage, but it'd be interesting to see, you know, what's to stop the frontliners from just diving Kael'thas and Hanzo. If sOaK Every Lane has really good balance and really good focus on their team fighting, I think this could be a rough one for the side of Wholesome Halfwits, but these guys are a pretty high-seeded team here in Division B West, and they've been on a tear lately. So, I'm not going to bet against them right out the gate. I know that my bracket has Wholesome Halfwits going all the way to the B Division Grand Champions, but I don't know. We'll see how this one comes out. I'll have to see if either team wants to try to dominate the bottom lane here. Towers of Doom, such an important lane, such an important map, I should say, for that bottom lane pressure, the double sapper camp that rotates into that. Sylvanas, of course, with the Merc Queen, can be very influential in that map, so we'll see if that's maybe where sOaK Every Lane wants to go with it. But either way, let's get on in. Game number 1. On the left, we have Wholesome Halfwits. We're going to have Ace Hysteria on the Kael'thas. We're going to have G Money Drums playing the Rexar. Crooked Smile going to be playing the... that is the Hanzo. There we go. He's got that commando skin going on. Freckle Pants also on the commando skin on Deckard. And Dr. C Jelly going to be playing the Uther. Meanwhile, on the right, we've got sOaK Every Lane. We've got Apocalypse playing the Blaze. Flippin' K going to be on the ETC. Key going to be playing the Tyrande. DMN is going to be playing the Sylve. And we've got Strogs playing the Zeratul. So right away we're going to see Blaze starting to rotate to the top there, kind of hanging out in the middle. And Strogs is going to get a little bit of poke out, but nothing that can't be immediately healed up by this double support for the side of Wholesome Halfwits. Meanwhile, rotation to the bottom, ETC already down here, getting his sOaK on, getting that globe real early for his Frog Rock level 1. Ryokai in chat saying that sOaK Every Lane wins the draft, but we'll see how it goes. And yeah, I mean, yeah, it could go either way, is actually what he said. I don't want to misquote the great Ryokai. But yeah, seriously, let's see how it goes. I mean, it's an interesting matchup. sOaK Every Lane, you know, well known for being actually, you know, one of the less meta teams. Sometimes playing that role being a little bit less meta. But boy, you don't get much more off meta than Uther and Misha being your front line with a double support comp. That is bonkers. But this is the playoffs, you know. We're getting down to that time where you really don't want to save it. You know, we do see an early camp grab here by Wholesome Halfwits. Doing a nice job of getting this started, at the very least. We'll see those sappers starting to rotate in. Wholesome Halfwits trying to force the wins on the other side. sOaK Every Lane doing a nice job of zoning them out, clearing them out. They're taking a little bit of poke here from Crooked Smile. He's sitting here trying to get those geometry stacks. Jelly taking a little bit of damage on the front side, but again, a double support going to bring him right back up. Trading stuns there are the two frontliners, and two of those sappers will be pushed in. Very nicely done there. Meanwhile, Kael'Thas in mid, soaking. Oh, but C-Jelly getting low. The Lunar Flare didn't quite land. That might have made the difference there, but again, the heals come out from that double support. Please misquote me as much as possible. I would never do that. Ryokai. Ever. So down in the bottom lane, we see a little bit of an early rotation here by Wholesome Halfwits, trying to get superior positioning here for this altar. Triple altar phase here, the first and fifth map objectives here on Towers of Tomb, I should say. Are those triples right away. A bit of a stun chain there on to ETC, but he's going to be alright. He's going to get healed up here by E. And looks like both of them are just going to trade out in the top, but Dr. Z Jelly getting solo. They're going to have Uther heals, but again, look at the target focus there from sOaK Every Lane. They get the Uther down, but there's just nobody else even having any damage. They're going to hold those cooldowns brilliantly, while the Uther Ghost was walking around with those spam heals. And now they're just looking to poke out slowly and see if they can find somebody to focus fire down. They're going to find G-Money drums up in the top, but he backs away just fast enough to avoid that slide. Oh, meanwhile, the cap on the back end there from sOaK Every Lane. Very nice. Tyrande is going to end up paying with her life, and Stroke's also going to fall, so off the tail end of that, Wholesome Halfwits get their revenge in the form of a 2-0, but still, two of those caps going over to sOaK Every Lane. They're going to go ahead and take themselves a 4-shot lead here early on towers. Oak Apocalypse right up to the top lane to sOaK. G-Money Drums doing a little bit of a double sOaK game here while 4 members grab the camp for Wholesome Halfwits. Meanwhile, right to the bottom lane, a couple members of sOaK Every Lane. They're going to be looking to try to defend this out again, but this time the rest of that front wall is on the line as they try and push in these sappers. So it does look like the level 4 was picked up for Mercenary Queen. However, sOaK Every Lane has not, to my knowledge, captured their camp once yet on their side. So not really taking advantage of that yet. Stroke's a little bit of a hard time here with Rexar. Meanwhile, C-Jelly with some nice zoning, trying to keep them away from this camp as long as possible. Can ETC get there in time? No. Tries to slide. C-Jelly is going to go down. Now, 2 actually rotate around the back, chasing ETC and go directly into the bell tower. Very interesting. Carry there. Kind of a rough time for them to lose Uther for the side of Wholesome Halfwits, though.
The time is now, heroes. Claim the altars.
Ah. And the cap grabbed there for the side of sOaK Every Lane. Sorry about that, folks. Frog right into that throat. Yikes. I usually don't get choked up that much, but Game of Thrones was just too much for me tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize. That's what these teams get for playing right after Game of Thrones. Just saying. Ah. Anyway, we are going to see rotation in. Trying to find somebody here in the mid for sOaK Every Lane. They did get a big cap there, so once again, maintaining that lead. But again, are going to lose somebody off the end of this. They're trying to rotate away. 3 members are going to end up going down here.
Heroes slain.
And Wholesome Halfwits winning the team fights, not quite getting the map objectives just yet. Still down 8 shots. But they get that team fight win. They're going to even out the XP a little bit here as both teams are going to acquire level 10. do have the rotation in the bot. They're trying to pressure this bell tower. Look at the lockdown. Coming in there from the doctor.
Rise from the depths.
See Jelly getting in there. Getting the job done. Huge flank from Apocalypse. Slide to follow it up though. And Luther's gonna fall. So that's a good pickoff for the side of sOaK Every Lane. Again, they're not winning the majority of these team fights. They're not getting the most kills, but their kills are a lot more timely.
Be swift, heroes.
They're actually just going to trade out both camps and bell towers here. They get or altars, I should say. So the lead on the board will remain 8 for the side of sOaK Every Lane. The XP remaining just about the same.
And for what? I am lord of this realm, and it will
Now,
not
quick rotation
be
up here. They're gonna
stolen
see
from me.
Strokes rotating down. Nice dismount there by Crooked Smile, but that slippery Zeratul will make it away. Meanwhile, this is a big push here in bot. Again, Merc Queen is active. There are a couple members of Wholesome Halfwits rotating down, but they're not going to be here in time to defend this. And they're even still going to have shutdown for the bell tower itself. Arrow, though, on the backside. Rotation coming down. The lockdown is big from Dr. C. Jelly again. And it's another 2 kills for Wholesome Halfwits. Man, I apologize, folks. There is something stuck in there. Water's not doing it. Ugh. Slide in on the other side here. Strokes coming in, trying to pressure them back, but this bell tower is getting low.
Has destroyed a fort.
Hey there, big guy. Sun's getting real low. The bell tower goes down. In they come. Level 13 now achieved for both sides right as this altar activates. Big wailing on the backside there, but caught out a little bit too far. He's gonna be Blaze. Meanwhile, Mosh is nicely interrupted there by Hysteria on the backside. He does end up paying with his life, though. A little bit of an arrow there on the backside, kind of the short-range stun, but it's a 2 for 2 to start. And there is the Mosh. So it was actually the small interrupt there. Didn't go on full cooldown. Allows a little bit of the HP to turn in favor of sOaK Every Lane, but this poke is just too huge. Big root coming in, and Sylvanas is going to go down. And the sustain is just too much for sOaK Every Lane. It ends up being a 4 for 2 exchange. And nice block there as well. And Owl going to prevent Key from stretching that out just a little further. And just like that, it is going to be Wholesome Halfwits now within 3 on the core count. We did have the bottom bell tower away from sOaK Every Lane, so they will be able to get that 1 extra shot this time around.
Red team has destroyed a fort.
Fort will be converted though, and the first set of sappers taken out. The second set should be here right around the time this bell tower is activating though, so we'll see if Wholesome Halfwits wants to push the issue at all into this bot lane. Apocalypse rotating up to the top lane. Trying to get some sOaK here. Checks boss there. I like it. You never know with a Rexar. You have to always check. Keep that guy honest. Oh, the cleanse from Key is on point there on the DMN. That was going to be a Silt in trouble, but now it's C Jelly that's in trouble. The lock into that bell tower, and the bell tower gets the kill. Or one of the minions. No way to know for sure.
Heroes, I have opened a tunnel near our core that leads to the battleground center. Use it well.
What? I mean,
So we will see the next triple alter phase, and again, C Jelly just down at the wrong time, and Hanzo is going to get picked as well here. Holy ouch, Batman. That's going to be 3 altars spawning. I don't think they can get to the Rexar in time here. But Blaze is on the cap right away. Tyrande caps in the bot, and this is going to be a 8-for-4 exchange. That is going to extend that lead back to 7 now for sOaK eVeRy. Meanwhile, the slide on KT. Hysteria is in a bit of trouble here. Strokes diving in. Look at the kill. Dr. C Jelly in trouble, but Apocalypse just barely. Just a hair too far outside there.
Your powers
With that charge. But still, the bell tower gets converted. Level 16 now achieved for sOaK eVeRy. They have about a level lead.
We have lost.
And they're in control here on Towers of Doom. It's worth noting this, of course, is the map where you can always have a good comeback. But right now, sOaK eVeRy doing a nice job. They're going to scout out that Wholesome Halfwits are on boss here. They're trying to force a team fight on these guys, and it is about half health. Strokes does not have VP to try and stall this, but the rotation is good. ETC is going to be here just in time. He's going to slide into mid, eat a couple of stuns, tries to go in. The Tornado is good to zone them a little bit. Hanzo going to go down first, and ETC is still on this point. The Wailing Arrow comes out. Uther falls, and the shots are going to go over to the sOaK eVeRy. The kills are going over to sOaK eVeRy. 4 for nothing. And the 2 altars are activating in the mid and the bot. They have a bell tower, so they can get 10 points after this unless they get another bell tower and they have the skill to push. I think that this is GG, ladies and gentlemen. Apocalypse is going to rotate down to position to try and cap one of these, or is he? Now this thing is going down real fast. Apocalypse down here in time to make sure this gets capped properly. Wholesome Halfwits starting to come back up, but the zoning mosh is good. Oh, but Dr. C Jelly on the backside, the Rexar is going to fall. And that's going to be Uther going down. And that is going to be the final cap in sOaK eVeRy. Well, they're not done with it yet. Hysteria comes to the backside, throws out the Phoenix. But I think that is the last hurrah for Wholesome Halfwits in this game. Number 1, sOaK eVeRy, the lower seed. Going to cap it. And we're going to see that bell tower falling here. Game number 1 goes over to sOaK eVeRy. GG, well played. Alright. Well, we're going to go ahead and give them their point here to start. We'll take a look at these numbers coming out here. Didn't get much of a chance, any kind of lull in the action to look at the numbers, so soak it in, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is, Sylvanas. 55k damage, 6 and 2. And got a lot of extra value out of Merc Queen and the tower shutdown on that map as well. I like the comp idea coming out from Wholesome Halfwits. Unfortunately, the deaths were just very poorly timed, you know. You can't eat those deaths right before the objectives, and it's almost like every time an altar spawned, somebody on Wholesome Halfwits' side was dead. So, more often than not, it was main tank Uther. 7 deaths, but that's some serious trait value. But overall, I think that was kind of what spelled the end and made the difference there for sOaK eVeRy. Well-timed team fighting. And we made it through game 1, despite the frog. I'm going to take just a quick little break, see if I can get that frog out of there. And we'll be back with game number 2 here of sOaK eVeRy versus Wholesome Halfwits. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, in we go to game number 2. sOaK eVeRy looking for the upset here in B West over Wholesome Halfwits. I know my bracket's trembling a little bit. I'm sure everyone else's is as well. So, Anubarak going to be the first ban out. Not at all surprising there. We've seen the Anub bans coming out aplenty so far here in the playoffs for Season 6. Diablo, also one of the top tier tanks, but Johanna also been in that mix, and those were the first 3 bans we saw in game number 1. Zol gonna be banned out here for sOaK every lane, so we saw kind of a off-meta tank style play in game number 1 from Wholesome Halfwits. So sOaK every lane, looking to try to deny maybe that other kind of off-meta tank strategy we've seen, which is the Zol with the double support. And it is pretty good on this map. The wave clear can be pretty good, especially with these lanes being so easy to rotate between. It is a 3-laner, but it's a pretty small 3-lane map, with the map objectives in the top and bottom being on the outside of the lanes, which makes the lanes a little bit closer together. And even though the distance between the mid and the bot lane is smaller, the conveyor belt going back up can really help with that rotation speed quite a lot. It's worth noting that this part of the video will be pasted onto the other one in the YouTube VOD. So we'll be starting here after the world ended in draft number 2. And we'll get to see exactly what happened in this series. Now, of course, I won't spoil it for anybody, but most people know what happened by this point. But let's go ahead and cast it anyway and have some fun. We are on the old patch, so we're working with a little bit different setup here. And we'll get this rolling. There we go, on into game number 2. Wholesome Halfwits are currently behind by 1 game here. On the left, we've got Crooked Smile playing the looks like the Sylvanas. That's a skin I've never seen before. Very cool. Freckle Pants gonna be playing the Tyrande. We've got Dr. C Jelly gonna be playing the Imperious. Ace Hysteria is gonna be on the Junkrat, and we are gonna have G Money Drums on the or Imperious. D Jelly is gonna be on the Arcus. You know, on the right we've got sOaK every lane. He gonna be playing the Deckard Cain. Flip K gonna be on the Philip K, I should say. Gonna be on the Johanna. DMN13 on Kalphos. Strogs on the Maiev, and with that pull in there, Strogs with a very nice move to get this started. And finally, who did I miss? Ace Hysteria, Junkrat, Blaze, Apocalypse. You guys get the point. One nice thing about the old patch, we do have the talents up in the top, but we'll pop into tab every now and then to see these quests as they go. Just trying to keep you guys updated on that, but we won't stay on that for too long because that's pretty obtrusive. But nice of the teams to not swap on me in between games. Let's hope that's for game number 3 as well. Fair warning, I won't be able to see the chat. I'm working on a single monitor today, but keep the eyes on the prize. And in slow moments, I might switch out to just make sure we're still good to go on the broadcasting side of things. But looking at Crooked Smile, picking up the camp early. Sylvanas, of course, very nice hero to have on this map with that extra damage from the turret. That extra 60% damage can be a really big deal. Nice reaction there by Dr. C Jelly on that tether. You just walk right into it and avoid that Maiev pull-in and mini-stun. Strogs, meanwhile, does have the turret on the other side for the side of sOaK every lane. You see the mine coming out. Meanwhile, on the backside, Crooked Smile shutting these down with the trait. Gonna finish off a couple of these and then look to cap here. Right now, sOaK every lane doesn't know about this rotation up to the top. They have a little bit of an advantage if they wanted to try and force this support camp, but it doesn't look like that's what they're going to do just yet. Well, down here, a bit of a back and forth, but G-Money Drums doing a nice job against Apocalypse. We'll push him back and force him to tap for the moment. Well, up in the top lane, sOaK every lane gonna respond here to the siege camp, taking in the top. Gonna be able to push back against that a little bit. Stroke's already here to sOaK, so a bit of a favorable position possibly here for Wholesome Halfwits onto this first control point. They definitely have the option to make this rotation a little bit quicker. And again, you see Crooked Smile there with that Mercenary Queen now achieved here at level 4. Going to have a little extra damage on these ranged camp as well. So meanwhile, in the mid, Furious rotates up from that solo lane position. G-Money Drum's going to get himself the beginning of the cap as the rotation down comes from both squads. Hysteria gets some Junkrat poke in, and the root's going to come down onto Maya. sOaK's going to respond, though, with a tether onto the Arthas. And just like that, we're going to have a little bit of a contest here. And actually, G-Money Drum stepped off the point long enough. That actually goes to the full contested status. Going to be neutral for the moment. We'll see the root coming out onto Johanna. The tail on the backside there as well from G-Money Drums. But look out, the health bar is getting super low there. And it's a double kill for sOaK Every Lane. First, second, and now a third kill to start off this match. Big start as these guys are looking to close out the series, make it a 2-0. And this is exactly what the doctor ordered for that to be what ends up happening here in the series. Wholesome Halfwits will be back in time, though, to contest this. They're also going to have level 7, but hard to ignore the level lead that's now been achieved for the side of sOaK Every Lane. And we will see sOaK's picking up that turret. The response will be on the other side here from Crooked Smile. Now with that Mercenary Queen, can take that solo very easily without even losing hardly any health there. Oh, but look at the invasion. sOaK Every Lane is in. sOaK's actually gets on the point, sets down the turret, and picks up the other one, or tried to. Apocalypse ends up picking it up, but Sylvanas goes down. And this first Turret Cloud Protector gonna go over to sOaK Every Lane, picking up where they left off in game number 1. See, the front wall is gonna be the target here in the mid lane for sOaK Every Lane. Protector dealing a nice amount of siege damage, but one thing we'll note is that new patch that came out yesterday gonna increase the siege damage and decrease the teamfight ability was the developer comments that I read, so it should be interesting to see what those changes end up looking like. Meanwhile, the top well is going to be the target for sOaK Every Lane here in the top lane, and that's going to deny that tap ability up here for that second control point. We'll shut down the fort for a bit there, but the rotation is going back towards the mid here for sOaK Every Lane, as they're very close to level 10. They're going to have a big advantage as this Triglav pops. They want to try and force a team fight here. They don't have anything to soak up the shots just yet. The wave does eventually come in, but looks like they're going to not be too aggressive into this 4v4 situation under the fort. They are looking for G-Money Drums, though. He's way out in no man's land. Going to try and spear his way up towards that top conveyor belt, but he's still surrounded by members of sOaK Every Lane on all sides. Going to get hit by the containment disc as well as they're trying to still solo him out. He's got about half health. It does look like he is going to fall, though. He's so low. There it is. And just like that, it's a 5-0 start. Good damage to the front walls here, which is pretty much all you expect from that first Triglav Protector. And it's still about that 1 level lead here for sOaK Every Lane. They're looking for the upset here, against the higher seeded team here in Wholesome Halfwits. Meanwhile, Crooked Smile with the quick rotation to bot. It was good counter pressure. I really like this call from the members of Wholesome Halfwits. They are pushing down here super hard. They've got that trait from Sylvanas. It's now out for this charge, but allows them to continue to push with that wave and get the front wall in bot lane. Didn't quite have enough oomph to get the well, but now level 10s are going to be coming in for Wholesome Halfwits, and their selections are going to be Angelic Armaments, along with the Wailing Arrow, Shadow Stock, Riptire, and the Army of the Dead. Meanwhile, over on the side of sOaK Every Lane, they've got Blessed Shield, Stay a While and Listen, along with that containment disc that we saw earlier. Combustion coming out here for Blaze and the Phoenix. So a lot of fire, a lot of CC for the members of sOaK every lane. Interesting pick for Combustion over Bunker. We've seen that a little bit more often here in the next gaming series ever since that Bunker cooldown got nerfed a little bit. And we will see up in the top lane, stroke's being targeted here. Gonna be able to back out just in time though. Counter rotation is in. The Junkrat gonna actually put Stroke's in a position to get the containment disc onto Sylvanas. Riptire coming in on the backside. Actually doesn't find anybody there. Stay a while and listen though. Getting a few targets. But look at the damage coming out here from Wholesome Halfwits. Just ripping everybody to shreds there. They're going to get their first kill of the game. But look at the turnaround here with the Combustion. 2 go down. And on the other side, Apocalypse makes it out with almost no help. G-Money Drum's going to be taken down there by the Flame Strike from DMN13. And my goodness, what a brawl that was. But it ends up being a 1-for-3 exchange again in favor of sOaK every lane. They have controlled here the early game. As we head into the mid game, they are looking pretty. They're going to get the first bit of charge here on this control point. They're going to have their team back and full a little bit faster. Let's take a look at the item count. Looks like it's just the one turret for the side of sOaK every lane, and nobody else on the side of Wholesome Halfwits have any items at the moment. Neither turret camp is available, nothing's available we picked up, so level 13, still about half level away now for Wholesome Halfwits. And this could be a big, big moment for them to try and fight. I guess we'll just have to see. Don't really want to fight down the 13 though. Of all the talent tiers, I would say 13 is probably one of the least influential, but I still like this call. You got plenty of room to give here with your structures still available. You don't really want to give up the Trig Lob, but you also really don't want to continue to snowball through Museum. So they just play it safe, give up the Trig Lob, and I will say the Trig Lob is pushing pretty good here. Gonna get through the top 4 pretty quickly, and now usually the customary move for most teams is to rotate this on down to the bot lane. And it looks like that's where they are headed. They want to try and get that, oh, but look at the turnaround on the Sylvanas. The Trig Lob. So strong. Those team fighting capabilities have not been nerfed just yet, folks. But yeah, it looks like they're going to look for that well. They get the initial beam onto it. The orb actually not quite available. And the miss there to shut down the tower, but still looks like the fort and the well are going to go down here in the bot lane. That'll give a big advantage over to sOaK every lane in terms of the structures as they head in towards that control point C a little bit later. Meanwhile, we got a big moments of possible engagement here, actually. If they can get in on this on time. But no, the zoning is pretty good. They do blow Blaze into the team there with that concussion mine, but they'll be able to make it out just fine. Could have been a good opportunity for Wholesome Halfwits to force there before level 16, but decided not to take it. Now level 16s are going to be in for sOaK every lane. Nice turret steal as well, so they'll be controlling that item bank. It's so important against the Sylvanas. We're even going to lay down the turret to commit here in mid. Gonna take down a lot of this fort. They're gonna eat a couple. Well, actually, no, they're not gonna eat any shots. They've got minions. They're gonna get the fort. Do they get the well? They're trying for it. They're kind of throwing a couple things at it. The minions are on it. And the well goes down from that last ranged minion shot. Very nice. Meanwhile, the quick rotation up to the support camp here. Love that call. We'll be scouted out by the Owl, though, so we're going to see the counter rotation here from Wholesome Halfwits. Going to quickly grab their turret camp down here. Nice steal. Can Dr. C. Jelly make it out, though? Yes, he will. So now again, you got that big downtime here. Level 16, definitely in range for the members of Wholesome Halfwits to grab before we see that next control point activating in the bot lane. We already can see that it's control point C. Camp is up at the top left, and that is where Wholesome Halfwits will go. Good amount of XP going to come in from these. And I like this call. sOaK kind of steps forward a little bit. They're going to threaten here in the bot lane. If they can open up this bottom keep and get the Triglav going down in this lane, they could possibly make something out of this to try and make this the end of the game. We'll have to see. The containment disc over the wall going to slow Sylvanas in terms of her counter siege potential. sOaK actually goes in. There is no gate, but we do see the concussion mine coming out. So maybe just a little bit of a threat there. But a huge Howling Blast coming out with the Wailing Arrow on the follow-up. Two members getting low here. sOaK's going to have to try and get away. We'll make it with just a little bit of health, but now they are super low. And we will see the rotation out here. Johanna kind of isolated. Iron Skin is down, and Dr. C. Jelly is on the chase, but they're not going to find anything there, as Control Point C is just a few seconds away from activating.
Terminal activated.
We'll see it going in the bot lane. And actually, the first ones to step on it are going to be Wholesome Halfwits. So it's a pretty interesting back and forth here. I don't know that sOaK Every Lane is really going to have the opportunity to be able to get level 20 here before this is a fight or lose situation for this Protector. Dr. C. Jelly being isolated out a little bit there by sOaK, but he's going to pop Army. So now if sOaK Every Lane wants to back away, they can wait out this Army of the Dead and have a bit of an ult economy advantage. Containment Disc did go out, but that's a much lower cooldown than the Army of the Dead. They are going to back up, they're going to pick up their camp, and Dr. C. Jelly looking for the invade, actually just going to hit the Howling Blast, being a little bit of a nuisance there. Still, yeah, no way they're going to get level 20. They know they need to force. They have the item economy. The time is now. If they're ever going to win it, it's going to be right here. sOaK Every Lane. Going the wrong way on the conveyor belt. Philip K. will get on it. We'll go ahead and hit the Iron Skin. Gets on and we'll force overtime. As they go in on this team fight. Dr. C. Jelly taking a little bit of poke. He's in where he wants to be on the backside. He getting low. Decker goes down from the Wailing Arrow there from Sylvanas. Arcus falls to the other side. Riptire. What a crazy team fight. This is. Imperious goes down. It's back and forth. Philip K goes down. Crooked Smile, the only one left. Will Blaze and Kel'Thas still up on the other side, and it's going to be a cap now for sOaK Every Lane. Now they'll get their level 20s, and they're going to start charging with 99% on here for the members of Wholesome Halfwits. Craziness here on Volskaya Foundry. And now we'll see who's up first is a real question here. Wholesome Halfwits definitely up first. 22 seconds on the Johanna, 18 on the Maya. Crooked Smile trying to get in there. I actually don't really know what that was meant to do. Could have maybe tried to wait. They actually probably couldn't have waited any longer now that I look at that charge coming up.
Blue team has taken control.
Still, yeah, I think you want to give it to the very last second, but level 20s are now in for sOaK Every Lane, and they are waiting for their members to come back up and rotate on in. Strogs coming around the long way and going the wrong way on the conveyor belt. Hashtag pathing. But we're going to see them switch up a little bit. They're going to put the two tanks in the Protector. Leave all the squishies on the outside, but all the damage still in the healer. They're going to go in on this bottom keep. They've already softened up this lane. That's a ton of damage being put down onto the Strigloff, with still 50 seconds left. Still got about half health. But the keep is going to go down. Root comes down onto Sea Jelly. Gotta look out. The containment disc going to actually zone him away a little bit there. Has popped Army, and that is going down. Hysteria getting a little bit low, but so is the Protector here. Sea Jelly is gonna fall, and they could be looking to try and finish the game here. Unstoppable and Combustion popped on the backside. Hitting Freckles Pants, he's getting so low on the back. G-Money Drums having to back away. Wicked Smile does hit the big Wailing Arrow, but there's no follow-up. And it looks like sOaK Every Lane not quite gonna have the tools to try and finish here. They are hanging around in the area though. They might try for a second time. This is where you'd really like to have a bunker to be able to help you out with the siege potential and the sustain, but DMN13 getting so low on the backside. The Riptire takes down Blaze, and here comes Wholesome Halfwits. They are on the chase. Arthas is getting in there. Or no, Arthas is down. I take that back. That is Imperious getting in there. They're a completely different color scheme, Jay. Come on, man. It's just I assumed that's where Arthas would be. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Meanwhile, in the mid, wow, I was getting hammered by those catapults. The top lane building up too, so plenty of housekeeping here for Wholesome Halfwits. They are going to get level 20 off of all this lane clearing though, and Blaze is down, so this is a bit of a moment of passivity now for the members of sOaK Every Lane, so it's gonna give the breathing room that Wholesome Halfwits need to be able to clean up these lanes, regroup, and get ready. Control Point A, the second edition, coming soon here. Level 20 on both sides now. Support camp being picked up here for Wholesome Halfwits, so they're going to get some toys of their own here. They now have one of each. Meanwhile, just the turret for the side of sOaK Every Lane. Strokes trying to go in on the backside, will Phantom Port away though. I don't know the actual name of that ability. I should probably learn it. Maya's kind of an influential hero in the game. I should probably know what her abilities are. I know Fan of Knives. And I know it's not Blink, but it maybe should be.
Blue team's core is under.
We are going to see Crooked Smile going in, cleaning up house here in the bottom lane though.
An access terminal will be on.
And there it is, finally our Control Point A. Blizzard, please nerf these cooldowns in between phases on this map. It's too long. I feel like there was enough time for like 4 more camps to be grabbed here. But there's just not enough to do. Meanwhile, level 22 for members of sOaK Every Lane to the level 20. Here, that is an 8% difference, folks. It's not a talent tier, but it does matter. Even if they were just to get that level 21, that would only be a 4% difference. But meanwhile, here we go. Turret is down. And while sOaK Every Lane got the first 20% of that cap, I love that call. Just back up, wait out the turret. You've got pressure. You've got catapults in every lane that your opponent doesn't have. They can play this slow. And that is exactly what they're doing. Actually, well, Strokes goes in, takes a ton of damage from that turret. But Wailing is out, baiting out a huge cooldown like that. Really big. Now they can look to maybe try and re-engage. Key has a lot of these potions down, these endless potions. Now at level 20, they're not on the point. They're a little bit more on the retreat and the path in here. But as they push in, they'll start putting more of these down. Biotic Emitter is down on the backside, fresh and new, but gets deleted. Meanwhile, stay a while and listen. Go on the backside, kind of overlapping there a little bit with Containment Disc. Meanwhile, Dr. C. Jelly getting low, but he stays alive there. As it's actually Kalthos that goes down first. Overtime forced, but the Impale is huge. The Lunar Flare even bigger. Riptire gonna not find anyone, but it does not matter. The one kill on Kalthos was enough. along with all the low health bars, and Triglav protected. Now going to go over to the side of Wholesome Halfwits. Gonna have to clean up on the backside. Imperius has gone back to clean up these catapults. There's a little bit going up in the top as well. Meanwhile, the Triglav takes down the mid fort. And now it's going to go on the key front wall. And there's not a whole lot of counter siege here without Kael'thas. So this thing is just kind of marching its way through uncontested into the mid. Now at about half health, as so is the keep. And the root comes out onto Strogs, following him. We'll take him out here. Wait a minute. As this mid keep is going to go down, and there's still about a quarter health on this Triglav. Imperius is coming back. sOaK getting pretty low. Does not have his indestructible. It was Storm Shield. Junkrat going down on the other side, though. Kael'thas comes back with a vengeance. With a Triglav going after Kael'thas, they're going to pop out of this thing and kill the Kael'thas? Maybe? Yes, the Q will get him. Stay a while and listen, going to put a few to sleep. And Sylvanas dies while the tanks were asleep. Holy cow.
Core is under attack. Blue team's core is under attack.
Well, core under attack on the other side by a couple catapults, but that'll get cleaned out. Whew, 3 for 3. I said I was going to take a look at these every once in a while, but I forgot. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I apologize, but there are some of the numbers. 169 Shadow Daggers there. Or stacks, I should say. 48 on the globes. Oh, and the Lunar Flare, 17, so not quite finished yet for that Lunar Flare quest. Got a couple of big ones there in that fight over the control point. And you call me crazy, are we going to control point B number 2? Is that where this game is headed? I feel like that's where this game is headed right now. Yeah, Spirit of Vengeance. That sounds right-ish. Trying to occasionally check on you guys, but again, I'm working with one monitor tonight, so it's gonna be a little bit of flipping. And of course, in the old replays, the noise. Ooh, 4-man Howling Blast there by Dr. C. Jelly. Too bad that doesn't get stronger as you hit more and more for the stacking. Oh, but the tail on the other side. Look out. Sleep kind of going the wrong way there for Key. And they're marching in here with the Army of the Dead. Johanna gonna go down. And all of a sudden, this looking like Game of Thrones with that Army of the Dead. Look out. Deckard is gonna go down. Blaze goes down. And I think with that 3 for nothing, this is gonna be it. As the members of Wholesome Halfwits get the big team fight win over that fight over the support camp, and now are pushing into core. The shields are gone, and they are going to be knocking down this core in short order. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to a game number 3. It's Wholesome Halfwits win here on Volskaya Foundry. Alright, we will quickly take us into a match summary here, and we will take a look at these talents, give you guys one last look at these, and of course the stats. We didn't really get to look at the stats all game, so looking at Junkrat, 80k damage, but on the other side, DMN with 100k, so quite a lot of damage coming out from both sides, and you look at the kill count, you wouldn't think that this is how this match went. But, you know, here we are nonetheless going into a game number 3 between these two squads. And without further ado, you know, let's get us in to that game number 3. I don't want to waste any of your guys' precious time either. I'm not used to doing this with one monitor, so bear with me a little bit here. Alright, so we are going to be going to Cursed Hollow for game number 3. It'll take me just a minute to load this all back in. But yeah, what a game 2 that was. Very back and forth. sOaK LaNe almost closed that series out there. They had a couple opportunities. Maybe overstayed a little there in bottom. If you don't have the full protector to push into with core, or, you know, multiple members down, I don't think there was too much of a chance for them to be able to actually finish off the heels of that push and bot. But they played the early game very well. They controlled the game for the most part and had that kill count advantage. So a little surprise, a little bit of a turnaround there needed for Wholesome Halfwits to be able to take that game number 2. Force us into Cursed Hollow here for game number 3. All right. Here, we'll turn this so you guys can see Pikachu. Nailed it. We're gonna work on this background stuff. We're gonna figure out if we can hang something that looks a little bit more esportsy and a little bit less baby elephanty. We'll get there. We'll get there. All right. And good for these teams. They didn't swap sides on me, even for game 3. Even when I wasn't there, they still did a great job keeping it straight for me. All right.
Prepare yourself for battle, heroes.
Let's get on into game number 3. On the left, we've got the Wholesome Halfwits. We've got Freckle Pants playing the sOaK. We've got Ace Hysteria on the Rainer. Crooked Smile going to be playing the Hanzo. G-Money Drums is going to be on the the Blaze. And Dr. C Jelly on the Arthas.
5.
Just make sure we are good to go here. Yes, we are. Meanwhile, on the right, we have sOaK LaNe. Philip K going to be on the Johanna. Oakpocalypse on the Sonya. Key playing the Ana. Strogue's going to be on that Greymane. And DMN13 going to be on the Falstad. Spray's going out nice and early here. You'll love to see it. Meanwhile, we are going to see DMN throwing out that early boomerang. Trying to find a little bit of damage here. And going to get those stacks for Seasoned Marksman and then fly on down. So I've been seeing a lot of Falstads go with that build for the Bribe plus the Lightning Rod. But he's going to prioritize the stacks here. Hanzo down here in the bottom, going to meet him. And DMN actually flew over that vision arrow, so Crooked Smile doing a nice job scouting that out. Meanwhile, at the top, we've got our solo laners going back and forth here. Greymane with a very early rotation, but going to be able to take this camp nice and early. Ace Hysteria on the Rainer. Same thing on the other side. Now, capturing this camp early going to be a bit of an advantage for Wholesome Halfwits, as the first tribute is going to be up in the top lane. So they don't necessarily want this early. sOaK LaNe going to cap it, but now there'll be plenty of time for Hanzo to clear this out in the bottom lane before the first objective here. So spawn, the alert will come at 2:30, but we'll spawn at 3 minutes, where everybody wants to actually be up there. Now you got the siege camp already lumbering into bot lane, but it does allow them to get this nice and early as well. So they're going to get both camps off the map real early here for sOaK LaNe. And they are living up to their namesake. They are getting all of the sOaK in every lane. Meanwhile, 3 members going to break off into mid and grab this real quick. They've got a pretty good squad for this as well. A lot of people underestimate sOaK's damage, but he hits people pretty hard with that arm. It's just kind of slow. He's also got good healing for it. We're going to tank it for Ace Hysteria, and they'll knock that down. Meanwhile, this is a big push opportunity for sOaK every lane. They're actually not going to aid it. You hate to see it. They could have pushed in with this, gotten a lot of extra siege damage from the kind of slower rotation from Wholesome Halfwits, but instead, 4 members will be able to clean this up, and I wouldn't be surprised to see if they're still able to rotate in time. Meanwhile, again, in bottom lane, that siege camp did get cleared out, only got minimum value onto that wall. Here we go for the first tribute. And we'll see the tribute being started here. Both teams have all 5 committed. Camp is going to be pushing in mid for Wholesome Halfwits, but probably won't get too much value there before this is all over. A charge in there. Gonna stun a couple. While that oil just being laid down on the backside, slowing the members of sOaK every lane as they kind of dance in and out here. See Jelly gonna hit the tap, heal up a little bit. Howling Blast not quite finding its mark on the DMN. Philip K getting kind of low. Goes in, though, with the Condemn. My goodness, the Iron Skin going to keep him alive, though. Hanzo actually ends up being the first to fall, and they are committing in deep on this. See Jelly gets low, but makes it. No, it's the cocktail. Double kill there for sOaK every lane. Again, getting the first 2 kills here in this game. And Shrog's going to be credited with both of those killing blows. Oh, that cocktail. It's cocktail hour here for Greymane. Yeah, you gotta feel good again with that start. Now, you know, we do of course remember how game 2 started for sOaK every lane. So that's those same 2 kills and that early first objective. They got 1/3 of that first objective now with that tribute. Can they get more? Let's take a look at these talents, see how people are doing on the building. 14 on Simple Geometry right now. We've got 6 on the Howling Blast, 7 for Blazes, and Marksman starting to stack up a little bit there. So progress being made all around. Camp going to be picked up on the backside here very quickly for the members of Wholesome Halfwits. And it looks like they may be just completely conceding this one. The positioning, at the very least, they are obviously conceding. Apocalypse, actually, nice zoning down here. Finds C Jelly. Crooked Smile gonna get in far enough, and the Howling Blast can interrupt the key to that first cap. And C Jelly's gonna maybe pay for it? He's so low. They're going in, trying to commit. They can't find the kill on the C Jelly, though. Nice hiding backwards. Now it's Apocalypse that's in a little bit too far. We just see the grenade being popped there, and the heals are coming out from Key big time. Sleep, slowing Arthas, but not stopping him. Greymane's going to go down. Sonya falls. They exchange it for the Arthas. But it's a 2-for-1, an exchange in favor of that arrow. In favor of Wholesome Halfwits, though. They're going to take the 1-for-3 now and get themselves their first tribute. Crooked Smile, meanwhile, with a quick rotation here. Gonna get started on the boss. And he does have that big race build. Not quite as effective as it used to be, but still more than capable to give them a big advantage with those big scatter arrows. Meanwhile, on the other side, it looks like sOaK every lane can kind of mirror that rotation, but it's gonna be a little bit slower on this. This is almost dead down here. So now a choice coming in for both teams. For the members of Wholesome Halfwits, do they want to rotate up and contest this boss? The answer is no. For the members of sOaK every lane, the big question is, do they want to contest this tribute? And without 10, I think the obvious answer is no. So it looks like both squads are just going to have their bosses pushing fairly uncontested. And they're going to be capping on the backside here. Trip. Level 10's coming in for both teams now, though. Let's take a quick look at these as Philip K gonna have to back up in mid, and both teams gonna look to clear their bosses. We've got once again Combustion with Dragon Arrow, Flailing Swipe, Hyperion, and the Army of the Dead for Wholesome Halfwits. Meanwhile, on the other side, we've got Blessed Shield, Go for the Throat, Eye of Horus, and the Mighty Gust. Oh, and Falstad falling. I don't even know where Falstad was there. He was with Hanzo. He's up in the top lane. Got it.
Shall we see who gathers enough tribute?
I'm taking too much look at the heroics. Meanwhile, oh, Sonya going leap. Jumping into the back line there. And I don't know, you know, I think there's a lot of CC. A ton of CC. The slows, the roots, the stuns over on the side of Wholesome Halfwits. I think Wrath might have been the pick there. I get wanting to get to the backside. They've been so close to getting a couple of those kills that C Jelly's just been kiting back. Maybe Leap makes a difference there, but I think you gotta think long term in these matchups. And I think that might be just a little bit short-sighted here, but we'll see. Meanwhile, the poking back and forth is going to begin, and advantage possibly going to be going over to the Ana for the healing there, but oh, the count, a bit of counter synergy there. They were closing in on C Jelly, but the Gust comes out, kind of disengages it. Philip K going to go down, and that Hyperion getting pretty good value in there, zoning him out. Greymane's going to fall as well. So it's going to be a 2-for-0. And they're going to pick themselves up the curse for the members of Wholesome Halfwits. 6-3 on the kill count. We're going to finish off this bottom fort lickety split. Hanzo even actually going out to do the camp. Crooked Smile saying, I don't have any siege. I don't even know what siege is. I'm playing Hanzo. So he's instead going to get the Bruiser camp to help in the siege department. Well, down here we've got a bit of a 3v3. First is active, so no help from these structures. Level 13 now going to come in for the Wholesome Halfwits. sOaK every lane. Overall with a pretty good defense here. They've got somebody in every lane. Living up to that namesake once again, making sure they're getting all the sOaK. And they're getting close to level 13, but it's going to be a bit still. Arrow on the backside. A bit of zoning, maybe? Zoning arrow? I don't know. Either way, that will be the completion of the first curse. It's going to be all 3 forts going down and a bit of damage here on the bottom front, keep front wall. Looks like the Wholesome Halfwits is going to rotate out, grab some more camps. Both teams actually going to get started on that. But look at the loop around here. C Jelly's going to scout this out. You're going to see only Strogs. Strogs going to see the invasion coming and back away. Now both teams going to kind of feel each other out here. See, you know, kind of how many members do you have over here? I don't know. I don't know how many are across the bow there. Level 13 now achieved for sOaK every lane. So they're ready to go. Philip K taking some poke there. He's going to have to back away a bit. Invasion coming in for Wholesome Halfwits. They are on the siege camp. We'll get on it, not in time, but look at the leap on the backside. They just delete Hanzo. But now they're turning this around with the Hyperion. Gust's going to have to be used for the disengage in that corridor. But still, they did manage to achieve their goal there. They just deleted the Hanzo. Whew. That looked like it hurt. That feels like kind of like a punch in the gut when you get thrown off the battlefield like that. Good news, everyone. 49 seconds until that Stukov's got flailing swipe. That's a quick boss rotation nonetheless by the Wholesome Halfwits. They see multiple members showing in every lane. Here's the big advantage of the curse, is it pushes out these lanes so far. You got a lot of cleanup duty, and when you're doing that, the other team's got, you know, full view of where you are and can do rotations like this, feeling very safe. So Wholesome Halfwit's going to get the last bit of true advantage off of that curse, other than this level that they have not yet really taken full advantage of. But, level 16 going to be coming in relatively soon. They do have that extra passive XP, and the boss marching down the bot lane is also a problem here for sOaK every lane. as they are going to attempt to pick up their second, with the Howling Blast zoning him away. The Gust on the backside isolates C Jelly, and he's getting low, but look at the rotation on the backside. G Money coming in with that combustion, I should say, and it's a 1 for 2 as sOaK trying to spin away. We'll be able to get out of here, but whew! That Gust did such a nice job of zoning him. Oh, wait a minute, sOaK is not actually out yet. I thought he made it out. He's gonna be taken down. He's gonna make it a 1 for 3. Now Greymane gonna get down here and get onto this boss. Should be able to clear this out alright. Meanwhile, again, the quick rotation, the quick boss damage with the Hanzo. And that's going to be a double boss play, along with that tribute for the Wholesome Halfwits. As on the back end, they're looking pretty good here in this matchup. 9-5, what was originally a pretty strong early game once again for sOaK LaNe. This one's shifted a little bit quicker in favor of the Wholesome Halfwits. But they do have level 13-16 coming in soon to pair along with this defense with the Hyperion. Gonna come down, deal a ton of extra siege damage. Boss beating down the gate, now gonna set its sights on the keep. There is level 16, they are locking them in. The Root coming down, Philip K taking a ton of damage, pops that indestructible, dodges the boss stun, but now it's gonna get rooted coming out of that. eVeRy trying to heal everybody up here. The Gust comes around. Oh, the anti-synergy. sOaK leaps right onto where they were before the Gust. Ooh, you hate to see it. Keep goes down in the top lane. First keep of the game. Going in favor of Wholesome Halfwits. They're going to pick themselves up an uncontested tribute here as well. One more to go to get that curse. And they are about level 18 here. Got about a level and a half lead. We're definitely going to win that race to 20 if we get that far, it would appear. You know, barring some kind of massive shift with kills. But they are going to have another opportunity to fight here over this next tribute. Is sOaK LaNe.
Gather tribute.
Their ults are going to be up and ready to go on both sides. But this is a favorable positioning for the members of Wholesome Halfwits. It's a good spot on the map for them to be able to defend, poke. They're already here, so they've got a bit of a rotational advantage. And they've been winning the team fights lately. No reason to think that's going to stop in a very early Blessed Shield, too. That's rough. 3-man stun on the backside. Strokes to try to go in. Hanzo goes down first, actually, here. And he actually getting some nice eVeRy value in the corridor. But it is a 1 for 2. sOaK going to be able to make it out here. But the 4 members that are left for Wholesome Halfwits going to be able to back up. And yeah, Crooked Smile. You know, the strategy's pretty plain. Jump onto the Hanzo. But you're making the baby upset. Ah, not the baby. Curse coming in here. Level 20 coming in soon after. The keep is going to be falling. 2 members coming back a lot faster. And but with level 20, play of the game could be a factor here. 12 seconds on that cooldown, and they should have level 20 by then. There it is. So yeah, and there's play of the game. So he can shoot this thing all the way across in about 1 second. There it is, and out comes the arrow as they are going on to the core here, looking for the game number 3 win, looking to come out of this. He's going to pop out of the play of the game. Sonya's going to go down, and they are getting very low on the other side, though. The swipe comes out from Freckle Pants. The Gust into the members and the core there. G-Money drums so low on the backside, but he's got his passive to pop. And the shields are down. There's a catapult on the other side kind of chipping this thing down. And I think that is going to be it. The core is falling. Game number 3 in the series Gonna go over to Wholesome Halfwits here on Cursed Hollow. Whew. What a matchup this has been. Let's take a look at the map, the match summary. Brought to you by the Nexus Gaming Series. Gotta love these guys. Give you guys one final look at these talents, where these guys were at on numbers. And we'll take a look at the stats. A relatively low damage game overall. Pretty quick through these objectives. Not a whole lot of team fighting. Quite a lot of macro play. But when it came down to team fighting, we saw kind of something similar between game number 2 and 3. sOaK every lane with a very strong early game. Wholesome Halfwits with a very strong late game. And a lot of times in Heroes of the Storm nowadays, that's what it comes down to, is who's got the stronger late game, who can win those late game team fights, and usually that's the team that ends up winning the game. But again, I want to thank everybody for coming out and watching here. And actually, here, let's go ahead and give Wholesome Halfwits their much deserved points before we go. But I apologize for the internet issues. I'm setting up in my new place. Still got to figure out the camera positioning and stuff like that, but still a lot of fun to cast these matches for you guys. And you know, thought we had the internet going, but it randomly DC'd on me Sunday night. So thank you guys for being patient. I'm glad I got to come in and replay cast them for you. I'll paste these all together and post you guys a nice fresh VOD up on the up on my YouTube channel, probably tonight or tomorrow. So it should be very soon coming out for that. So keep your eye out for that whole VOD, that whole complete match VOD. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't shout out the NGS Patreon. Don't forget to go check out all of those really cool features on the Patreon, all of those potential rewards, and consider supporting the league if you guys can. You know, it's a lot to run these, and the staff work very hard, and it's always good to have that extra help. But that's going to pretty much do it for me tonight, guys. Thank you very much for coming out for this replay cast or watching the VOD later. If that's how you're taking it in, still very cool on that YouTube channel. We've been working very hard on the NGS YouTube, so go check that out as well. And until next time, guys, I am Jason, and for the Nexus Gaming Series, we'll see you later. Have a good night.